They're paying these contractors to drill underground within the United States. And on top of this, they are pumping coexit within, under the ground, in these caverns under the ground throughout the whole United States. Who's paying for this to happen? Because once this earthquake happens, boom, all power goes to the government as saviors. The citizens, they don't know they have no idea what's going on. They just want to be safe. They want to have a warm meal. They want to escape destruction. They don't care. The last thing that the normal person that's working day and night, working, thinks that the government is planning to destroy them altogether. So now the government will be their savior, usher them in to the next phase of this, which is the FEMA camps and all those things. Okay? This is how they can break a society down with minimal pushback. If FEMA come knocking on your door, how many people with arms going to defend themselves? So they're not going to come that way. So all these preppers and other people think that, okay, I'm going to defend my front. It's going to come entirely different than that. It's going to come in the form of natural disaster first. And through the natural disaster, now you will yield your rights and yield your protection for safety. That's the point that we're bringing forth here. But let me show you, first of all, that the prophecies concerning what's going on in the earth with the harp and everything, these are man-made natural disasters. The Most High didn't create the harp. He didn't give them the technology to make the harp. They made the harp system to control weather patterns, to use weather as warfare. They destroyed the rig. Was it a coincidence that Halliburton, the same company that's responsible for rebuilding war-torn countries that the Western world destroyed, is it a coincidence that they purchased the oil spill cleanup company a week before the oil rig was destroyed? And that the same people who are in cahoots, Goldman Sachs and all these people, is it a coincidence that they put out put options? For those who don't know what put options are, put options are betting on a company to default or go down. So how did they know that the BP oil stock would drop without prior knowledge of what BP was going to do with the oil company? So you thought this went away. We told you a long time ago when it was happening, we went through blow by blow with this. And I'm going to say the brothers and sisters that are in the Louisiana area, that's in the Gulf area, all around the Gulf, it's best to get out of those areas altogether, because it's going to be way deeper than Katrina when these earthquakes hit. How much more you have to see with sinkholes all along the Gulf right now. Let's read it. Revelations, the 12th chapter, to show you that the devil come down knowing that he have a short time.
Revelations chapter 12, verse 9.
Okay.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan.
Now what this was showing is that after Christ was crucified, Satan had no more interest. He could not go before the throne to accuse the brethren like he was able to in the Old Testament against Job. He was able to testify against the patriarchs. But once Christ was crucified, Christ got full power of Hades and the heavenly realm to stop Satan's entrance. But now, that's not stopping him from operating within the terrestrial plane, which is within the earth. So once Christ was crucified and shed his blood over the heavenly tabernacles, instead of an accuser of the brethren, we gained an adversary. We gained Christ, who instead of someone in the Most High's ear tempting him to destroy us, we have someone's in the Most High's ear asking him to forgive us and give us time. So now when Satan had no more entry into the heavenly tabernacle, read.
And Satan, which deceiveth the whole world,
You can come in a little bit. Satan, which do what?
which deceiveth the whole world.
Which deceiveth the whole world. So his greatest weapon is deception. So everything you see, everything you're seeing on the news, it's a total deceptive tool to get you away from what's really going on. Read.
He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying
Now, some
in
people
heaven,
want to know who his angels are. There's many angels who was cast out with Satan in the beginning, and they are under his general command. These are the powers that give mankind technology and science. They give mankind the knowledge of how to harm others. They give mankind psychology. Okay? So Satan's generals are at the apex of all your universities, all your news stations, all your corporations. They operate over the CEOs and elites of this earth. They operate over your presidents and elected officials. A matter of fact, your officials are not elected at all. They're chosen under an elite fraternity well before they take position. You don't have an election. That's ceremonial. That makes you believe that you are participating in something. And a matter of fact, it's almost like signing a contract that you agree with the death that's coming on you. If you participate in a system that you know is evil, you are now complicit. So the election process is just a way to get people to volunteer and say they agree with death. Read.
Verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God.
Why? Because when Christ shed his blood, that was the beginning of him sealing those for his kingdom. That was the beginning of Satan's destruction. When Adam fell, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. And Satan was running with the powers of this earth since the fall of Adam. But Christ began Satan's downfall. Read.
And the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
For the accuser was cast down. That's after Christ's sacrifice. Read.
Which accused them before our power day and night.
Because before Christ was crucified, Satan had entrance with the heavenly angels to go before the Father and accuse us, to say things was wrong with us, just to make the Most High angry at us so that he could come after us like he did Job in the Old Testament. Read.
Verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Go ahead.
And by the word of their testimony.
So the only way you can overcome the destruction, the destroyer, Satan, is you must have Christ. If you don't have the blood, then you are subjugated under his power by default. And therefore, he set up institutions to teach atheists and alternative beliefs. Beliefs that would have you think that there is no God nor Satan. Read.
And they love not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
Woe unto who?
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth, that's us,
And of the sea.
and the fishes and creatures in the sea.
For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Because the devil cometh down unto you with great wrath, knowing that he hath a short time. Let's examine this for a moment. So if the devil is coming down on you with great wrath, the destruction that you see in the earth is artificial technology used under Satan's program to destroy us. The angels say you can't come up here anymore, but woe to those that live in the earth, because the devil have come down with great wrath, knowing he have a short time. So what did he do? He set up these Satanists and pagans and these witches and warlocks and gave them authority over all his kingdoms. He gave them authority over all his governments. And in order for them to maintain their power, the agreement was to institute this destruction against the Most High's creation, especially his people. So when you see these earthquakes and all that, and I see brothers out there laughing and saying, yeah, the Most High did this. You giving, let me tell you, that's not the Most High doing these things. It's Satan. Now the question begs, well, why, if the Most High is all powerful, and I hear atheists say this all the time, well, why is he allowing this to happen then? We're going to get that too. But first, let's put the blame where it should be. The original blame of all this destruction. Why? What is it? It's the destruction that Satan have against the Most High's creation, including, and more importantly, those who bear Christ, the people Christ came out of. He's looking to destroy. Even if he have to destroy this whole earth to do it. So the HAARP system, look it up yourself, HAARP, where they have thousands of antennas, hundreds of antennas shooting waves into the ionosphere, heating up the atmosphere so they can use computers to move cloud patterns and create storms and hurricanes. Also, creating droughts. So that one country that's not complicit with this destruction can now no cloud patterns can form over their particular countries. The Most High is not doing this. That's Satan playing God. Your chemtrails. Who you think paying the military to spray chemtrails all over the earth? To break up, because they need those particles in the air so that the HAARP system can work. The Most High didn't create the HAARP system. Okay, so now they can form clouds, make earthquakes, they can actually make storms. He can play God and use storms as a cover for other things they're doing. For other things they are doing. But their objective is biblical. That's the point we need, instead of just looking at the little storylines like your regular news programs who just report random things. We, as followers of Christ and understanding and people that understand the Bible, we must look at the reason behind these stories. Why is Satan setting up a pay grid for his elite to destroy mankind? We're going to show you. Woe unto the earth and the sea, read. Because the devil have come down knowing that he have a short time, read.
Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth.
When the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he had no more power to the throne, read.
He persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
He started persecuting the woman that brought forth the man-child. He blamed Christ. Christ is the reason now that he cannot go to the heavenly throne and accuse the brethren. So since he cannot touch Christ, he's going to destroy the woman that bare the man-child. Now the woman is not talking about Mary. Who is the woman Satan is looking to persecute? Read. Go to the first verse.
Verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet.
Go ahead.
And upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
12 stars, which represents the 12 tribes of Israel. The woman is the 12 tribes. So ever since Christ was crucified, ever since he died, to begin our kingdom and the destruction of Satan's kingdom, Satan, since that very second, turned his eyes towards destroying all under Christ, including his people. Including his people. Right after that, the martyrdom of the disciples. 70 AD, they destroy our people, the Roman Empire, the Europeans. We flee into Africa. But in order to destroy the woman that bare the man child, Satan had to set up a governmental grid with bases all over the earth. Why? Because Israelites are scattered. So his first point was to set up colonies all over the earth where the Israelites migrated to or were scattered to destroy them all at once. See, you'll never hear this storyline on your modern day Christian station. Why? Because the Christian stations are set up under Satan too. Finish reading.
Verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
And the woman was given 2 wings, great wings of an eagle. Read.
That she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and a half time, from the face of the serpent.
From the face of the serpent. So the Most High put up forth a spirit and told us where to flee, so he could nourish us from the face of the serpent. Now, the serpent people are the Khazars. That was their name in Europe before they converted into Judaism. Judaism. Also, they are the Romans. So the Most High hid us from the Romans. The Romans eventually found us and began the eugenics program to destroy us through vaccinations, through separating the families, immorality, teaching us alternative doctrines outside of our original understanding of the Torah. Okay, read.
Verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
Waters as a flood. What waters? Religion. Don't forget. The Roman Empire set up Islam also. These are waters. What? Because waters go by and destroy everything in its path. So what did they do? They set up religions to bring forth a flood of lies, to confuse the people who could actually spiritually go to their God and fight against this devil. Read.
Verse 16. And the earth helped the woman.
And the earth helped the woman. How?
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
How did the woman swallow the flood or the lies that came out of the woman's mouth? Because we know the woman is the great whore. The Roman Empire, the Roman religion, the Vatican that created Islam also. Read.
Verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
Now, how did the Most High swallow up the lies that was cast out the woman's mouth? Read the verse before that about the waters there. Read it again.
Verse 16. And the earth helped the woman.
The earth helped the woman. Read.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Because later on, archaeologists found information in the Qumran caves. It found information in the earth that would swallow up the lies in the doctrine from the Roman Catholic Church. The Most High gave us the book of Jasher. He gave us the book of Enoch. He gave us all this information that was in the earth that if you compile with the Bible, it gives you the true doctrine of the Most High. So those books were revealed to us in the end. To swap now we can look at the Bible and fill in some of the blanks because they've used those chasms to bring forth false doctrine. See that? The example I can give you. If you don't have these certain books that the earth helped us with, you're confused to how Cain, which is Adam's son, had a wife. If you don't have this other information, it'll confuse you to make you think other people existed during the time of Adam. You see that? So those records showed us that Adam didn't just have Cain and Abel. He had sisters. He had daughters too. Many daughters. You understand? So the earth helped us with this information so that we can now tear down the lies from the woman, which is the Roman Empire, and their religion, Christianity, the greatest deceptive religion to have ever hit the earth. And Christianity is more deceptive than the ancient Babylonian religion under Nimrod. Why? Because at least when Nimrod was on the earth, we knew Satan was his master. Okay? We knew the religion of Babylon and how evil it was. But today, they have cloaked the Babylonian religion under Christianity. So we have the information now to swallow up the lies. Read.
Verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
The remnant of her what?
Remnant of her seed.
The remnant of her seed. The remnant is what's left. So Satan's clear objective under his government is to destroy the seeds of Israel, the people whom Christ came out of. That's his major objective. Now, I'm talking about the Corexin, the oil spill. I'm talking about eugenics. Why do I bring all these things up? Because these are tools and weapons that leads to an eventual destruction of us, of our people. Okay? So yes, we go to all these different elements and different storylines, but the bottom line is Satan have a clear objective, and the Bible spells it out clearly. All right? Now, go back up to Revelations where you left off at, the 12 stars. Revelations 12, before we get into this and go straight to the wilderness.
Revelations chapter 12, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Go ahead.
And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns.
7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads represent the 7 mountains of Rome. The 10 horns represents Germania and the rest of Rome, including the Gauls, who are the French, including Great Britain, Germany, Russia. All these particular countries were the original Roman Empire. So they're the serpent people that are looking to destroy us. Read.
And 7 crowns upon his heads, and his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth.
To show you that Satan is over these governments, the Roman government. He's over the Jewish powers that are masquerading as Jewish or Jews. They're the synagogue of Satan. They're Romans with a clear objective. Their greatest tool, deception. Read.
And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Now this part is speaking of Mary. No sooner as Mary had this child, they had an Edomite in place at the same time period that would be there over Israel to kill Christ. Herod the Idumean. He was not an Israelite. He was from the Herodian dynasty. Okay. His grandfather, Antipas, an Edomite during the times of Julius Caesar. So they put an Edomite as a governor over Israel for that time period. So when the child is born, he can decree to kill Christ straight from the womb. Now check that out. Of course, the angel warned his father Joseph to take him into Egypt. And when Herod seen that Christ escaped his wrath, he killed all the man-child children 2 years back in Jerusalem or in Israel. Similar to what happened during the time of Moses, right? And that's why they have the abortion system and Planned Parenthood set up in every minority neighborhood all over the earth where Israelites are. You want to know where Israelites are? Follow Planned Parenthood. Anywhere in the earth, that's us. Looking to destroy the next leaders, the next brothers and sisters with the spirit of discernment and understanding, and who are enlightened to the truth of this Bible. They're trying to stomp them out and promote the ignorant of our people. Okay? Read on.
Verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
And she brought forth a man-child, that was Christ, who would rule with a rod of iron. And eventually our people fled into Africa. Even before then, the Indian tribes, whom they called Indians, which they lied, they weren't Indians at all. The Europeans called them Indians because Indians means savage. So they had to demonize our brothers and sisters in North, Central, and South America in their campaign to colonize and destroy them the same way they demonize the Arabs today. The Arab countries today, and call them terrorists. Well, that's no difference in calling someone Indian or savage. That was the storyline they used back then to dehumanize people into understanding that our people over in America were people. They had families. They had to demoralize them. They had to minimize their value and hide the fact that they were looking to destroy the children of Israel. Read on.
Verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness.
And the woman fled where?
Into the wilderness.
The woman fled into the wilderness. And you know, after 70 AD, our people fled into Africa. Later on, we fulfilled the prophecies of Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and we were brought over the waters into the Americas to meet our brothers and sisters who were there thousands of years before we got there. To live and to build, to live in and to build together the daughter of Babylon. Our foreparents, which with blood, sweat, and tears, built the construct. Through hard labor, no pay. Sounds familiar? Yeah, we're the same people who built Egypt. Wake up. We're going to sound an alarm. We're going to, today, brothers and sisters, if it be the Most High's will, we're going to lay this out crystal clear. I didn't understand till today, listening to something, why they canceled our Justin TV station during the same time of the BP spill, when we actually went into the Bible and broke it all down. You can see all these people on the internet, Lindsey Williams talking about it, Alex Jones talking about it. Why none of their videos are canceled? Why? Because they do not link things to the Bible. They're not showing you Satan's program against a specific people. I don't care how much knowledge you know. If you are ignoring who the whole objective is against, you don't begin to understand the storyline. You have to first admit that the governments have a clear objective against a certain people to understand any storyline. Okay? We're not bringing forth this to say, let's fight and let's stand up and let's defend America and our freedoms. We know the future of America according to the Bible. It's futile. It's futile to stand and fight for a freedom that you have received on the blood, sweat, and tears and backs of slaves. So a lot of you guys out there that are fighting for freedom, now that you're going to tell the truth and try to fight for freedom, listen, we don't want your freedom. Okay? Because your freedom means slavery for us. So you're still fighting for the wrong things. You're just standing up now because now you're being included. But you're still fighting for the wrong thing. You must figure out the objective of these powers and understand that they are looking to destroy us. And I'm going to say this, and shifting it off for a little bit. For now on, with the remaining of our radio shows that we have are not going to be on these little bit and pieces, little interactive type conversations. All right. The rest of our radio shows, we're bringing it. And whatever guests come on, they better bring it with us, or we're going to roll right over them and bring it. We bring in scriptures, we bring in understanding. With no more this tic-tac, who's right, who's wrong type of thing. We're bringing the truth because time is short. Okay? That's how we dealing with it going forward. Okay? They done deleted our just. I'm like, why did they deleted it? Because it was showing prophecy well before what's about to happen. It was showing that BP oil spill catapulted one of the biggest prophecies in the Bible. And they didn't want you to go back to that particular video to see it was biblical. If you seen the video, you would have realized, you would think that we had some window into the future. You understand? And it was blow by blow what was going to happen. And we said it was going to lead to a great earthquake. And now everyone is talking about it in regular mainstream. But they deleted it. Why? Because if some poor people with no credentials went into the Bible and figured this out, then many brothers and sisters that'll see that video and see the date on those videos will understand that it's the power of the Most High, that truth is being revealed in this time, and they would begin to come back to the Most High. They don't want no connection like that, so they want to spin and use their people to spin the directives of the Most High's prophecies. Finish reading what you have in Romans before we go into it here.
Revelations, chapter 12,
in Revelations. Go ahead.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she have a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels.
Now let's stop there because it's going into something else there. Let's go into it now. So now we know that Satan is behind all the technology of the storms and destruction and wars you see today, coming down on the earth, destroying, because he know he have a short time. We realize that in Revelations 12. Another point in Revelations 12. This destruction is aimed towards a particular people. See that? So he have an overall objective to destroy the woman that bare the man child. Now, I'm going to show you the deceptive tool of the churches. Their theologian teachings are telling you the woman is the church. Now, that's straight deception in itself. The woman, the church, didn't bear Christ. The church came after Christ. Okay? Now, understand this. They tell you the woman is the church. No. To prove to you that their doctrine is purpose deception. They know they're deceiving you. They know that. Because if you believe the woman is the church, now you can't pinpoint a people whom Satan was looking to destroy from the beginning. Before there was Peter, you had a people whom Christ came out of. Okay? Before there was a church, before there were the 7 churches in Revelations, you had a people Christ came out of. But it's ironic, no one is speaking about these people. Why? In mainstream religion, they're teaching it doesn't matter. See that? It doesn't matter. And if you do want to go into the woman is the church. Now you're more confused than you were before you even picked up the book. But if you understand, the woman is a people who had the law, statutes, and commandments and fell from those commandments and was scattered throughout this earth, and that one day the Most High will awaken these people and the elite know it. Now you'll understand why the governments treat you like a second-class citizen, while they'll put a bullet in your head and no one go to jail. You'll understand more things now. You'll understand slavery now. Because you are the woman that bare the man child. Christ came out of you. You are Christ and Christ is you. You are the same people. Christ was crucified. You are being crucified. Christ was hung from a tree. You were hung from a tree. They killed children 2 years back because who the children may, the fact that these children might end up becoming great prophets and teachers and followers of the Most High. Now they're killing you through abortion. See that? Now, the question is, why is the Most High allowing this to happen? Let's go. Let's go to Thessalonians. And I'm going to tell you, in order for you brothers and sisters to get on point with this, a few things you have to get out of your mind. First of all, anything the Christian doctrine have taught you, throw out the window. It's total deceptive Roman psychology. And it's totally false. Get these things out of your mind. There will not be an antichrist. One antichrist is going to pop up somewhere and tell everybody, I'm God, get a chip. It's not going to happen. Get it out of your mind. There's no place in the Bible where will you be floated up into heaven before an antichrist pop up. You're not going to be raptured. Another lie. Okay? In Thessalonians, when it says the dead in Christ shall rise first, that's talking about the last trump. When Christ returns. I'm not speaking of you being picked up before an antichrist is revealed. That's all Jesuit Roman Daba. It's a deceptive tool to get you out of understanding that you are living in these prophecies, not waiting for them. You're living them. You're not waiting for them. Okay? It's to keep you still. That's what these prophecies are for. It's like putting cheese on a string for mice. You're just leading them up the road, but they'll never get the cheese. That's what these prophecies are. Okay? There will never be a third temple in which Satan or some antichrist is going to sit in Jerusalem. It will not exist. They've been sitting there since 1948. Okay? They're already sitting in the temple. What are you waiting for? The Christian church is the greatest deception on earth. Ironically, I seen something the other day where this high sorceress said, listen, I was told that if you want, he was a known Satanist. He got up to many degrees in masonry and understood that he was following Lucifer. And he said that his greatest experience, he was told by his teacher, if you want the greatest experience in Satanism, you must join a church. Because now you're dealing with the celebratory part of it. The part in which people are screaming and spirits is entering them and they got the music playing and it's euphoric. It's the truth, brothers and sisters. We've been deceived. Your whole construct, this whole construct, everything we see in this earth belongs to Satan right now. Not Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And you think the hand of the wicked will allow you to set up an institution to destroy him on every corner in your neighborhood? Are you kidding me? If it's not working for Satan, he will destroy it like he tried to do, like he did Christ, like he wanted to crucify Christ and destroy the disciples too. So the disciples had to learn house to house. They had to teach house to house. They had to do it undercurrent, underground, so that the government couldn't come in to destroy it. All your religious institutions are infiltrated, every last one. So some people might ask, well, God is all power. This is what the atheists say. They come up with these ridiculous scenarios that doesn't make any sense. Understand that we're not Christians, so you can't pose questions like you would pose to a Christian. Well, if God is all knowing, if God is this and that, well, why is he allowing it to happen then? Shouldn't he stop it? No. No. Why? Because the Most High is bound by his word. And atheists don't understand that. If there's prophecy that have not been fulfilled, then the earth must go on until all be fulfilled. So he's not going to cut his prophecies midstream to show that he got more power than Satan. Because the Most High is bound by his word. He's not going to cut his word short. His word is not going to come back void. That's scripture, which means everything that he said must be fulfilled. So that's why he's just not going to stop Satan right now. Because other things must happen, including the fall of the daughter of Babylon. Okay? So let's go into Thessalonians where it says, he that letteth.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work.
The mystery of iniquity doeth already work. So Paul was telling the church of Thessalonica this so that they don't have to sit back and wait for an antichrist to operate. He says the mystery, now the mystery is you wondering, well, who is this person? That's the mystery. Who's this antichrist? Well, Paul told you back then that the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Who you're looking for is already working. Common sense. So stop following this Christian storyline that was made by Jesuits that an antichrist is going to jump up. He was working during Paul's time. And it wasn't one antichrist. It was Satan over governments, with the Roman Empire spearheading his plan. Read.
Only he who now letteth will let.
Only he who now letteth will let. That's the Most High. Read.
Until he be taken out of the way.
Until Satan is taken out of the way. So he letting Satan operate. He's letting Esau operate. Why? Hold that, get Romans 9 and 13.
Romans chapter 9, verse 13.
Hold up, let me go straight there with you here.
Verse 17.
17 is what I want. Yeah, thank you.
For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee.
So when you look down, it's speaking of Esau. Esau is the powers of the people of the European descent, like the families who have not mixed their blood with other people. It's talking about Esau. Go to the 13th verse.
Verse 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Esau is the Romans. Okay? So some people might ask, well, why don't the Most High take him out of the way? It tell you the 17th verse, he raised up Esau with the same intent he raised up Pharaoh. He let Esau operate and get all this power so that he can crush him without hand, so that the whole earth will know that our God, Ahiah, the God of the Hebrews, is the God of all gods. Believe me, you're not going to be dealing with Christianity after you see our God operate. You're not going to be dealing with Islam or any other ism in this earth after our God crushes Esau, because it don't stop at Babylon. Babylon is just an in-between destruction before he deal with Europe, before he deal with those people of the EU and UN, before he deal with Rome once and for all. See, the Roman Empire know that Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, is expendable because they built the daughter of Babylon. They know that's not the last front for the war. Finish reading.
He
that letteth. Go back to Romans.
Romans 9 and
9
17.
and 17 is what I want. Read.
For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up.
Even for the same purpose have I raised thee up.
That I might show my power in thee.
That I might show my power in thee.
And that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
One moment here. One moment.